Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the solar eclipse. It's on September 21. It's at 29 degrees of Virgo. Now, 29 is a critical degree, and this is a harvest eclipse, so that makes it particularly intense. So let's talk about it. So this eclipse and the eclipse we had earlier in September are the exact same eclipses that we had in September 2006. So think back to 2006, what was going on? What were the obstacles and challenges? What were the opportunities that were happening? Because those are things that could be happening again this time. And by the way, I do readings so we can look at your chart and look at specifically what's ahead for you. There's a link in the description. So, of course, eclipses bring big change, and that affects the world. And the theme of the eclipse, which is based on the sign of the eclipse, and in this case, the degree of the eclipse, can give us a lot of information about things that could go on in the world. Now, a lot of these things are happening already. They are just reaching a very noticeable and critical stage. But what's more important is that we can derive information for our own lives from what's going on with this eclipse and in the world. So a Virgo eclipse is always about health and well-being. And so during this time, we may see some big news stories about what is going on in the world when it comes to health, disease, infections, just general well-being of people. And what we need to think about for ourselves is, how are we taking care of ourselves? How are we taking care of our bodies? Because this 29-degree eclipse says that if there are things that you know you need to be doing and you're not doing them, now is the time to start, because the energy here is really loud. It's like a megaphone saying, take care of yourself. A Virgo eclipse is about agriculture and the food supply, and so oftentimes with the Virgo eclipse, we are going to see rising food costs or even shortages. And again, you may have already been experiencing some of this, but this is also that now it becomes more extreme. Now it becomes more noticeable. And the message for us as individuals is, how can we become more self-sufficient? Now, in a society, it's very hard to be 100% self-sufficient, but we can learn to cook at home, keep a well-stocked pantry, to connect with local restaurant owners or local farmers and support what they're doing in our communities. A Virgo eclipse also talks about the people in general, the condition of the population, and so that can lead to some, expressing and civil unrest, and we are seeing that again already. And so it's very important to express our opinions and to be out in the world saying our truth. But this is also a reminder that in our own lives, we need to look at what's not working and make some changes to figure out, what we're doing that is something that we would normally rebel against. And so then we say to ourselves, okay, this is something that has to change. Also, a Virgo eclipse is about how large companies and the government itself just works on a daily basis. And so it's quite likely that we're going to hear a lot more about jobs, how many jobs are being created, or how few are being created, layoffs and things like that. And so that reminds us, that bigger picture reminds us to take a look at how we're doing our daily lives and what we need to subtract from our daily lives, what we need to add to our daily lives to make it better, to put ourselves more on the path that we want to be on. And that might involve, meditation or journaling. That might involve getting into the community, meeting your neighbors, and connecting with people. Now, this eclipse affects those people who are born between the 14th of the month and the 27th of the month. I'm going to put the specific dates on the screen, and that means that your sun is getting hit by this eclipse. Now, of course, a conjunction, a square, or an opposition would be the strongest hit, but even a semi-sextile is going to affect you. And so this hit to your sun means that some aspect of your identity is shifting. That is that you are deciding to leave an old part of you behind and embrace something new. Additionally, it's very important to check the planets and as well as a couple of important points, and that would be the ascendant and the midheaven. Those in particular could affect your job, your living arrangement, your relationship. And so look for any planets or points that are between 25 degrees and 29 degrees, or between 0 and 4 degrees. All of those indicate a hit. Of course, personal planets and the moon are going to be a stronger hit. Some of the outer planets like Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are going to be more generational, so people around your age will be experiencing a similar thing. And I also wanted to mention that if you have anything at early Libra, so that's 0 from 4 degrees, that's actually a conjunction with that eclipse, with this eclipse at 29 Virgo. So that's often missed because of the change of signs, but this is a very potent hit. Now, eclipses allow us an opportunity to see our situation very honestly and make some changes. And this can be something you're quite conscious of, that you've been saying to yourself, I need to change this, or you're already in motion towards it. It also can bring a kind of, oh, the emperor has no clothes type of experience where we say, I didn't realize that I've been fooling myself. I didn't realize that I was not paying attention to this as much as I was. And so then it's time to get real. And so either of those things can help us move forward. Okay, Aries, of course, this eclipse is going to bring some changes, and those changes are likely in your areas of work or health. And that means there could be new job opportunities for you, new work circumstances for you. That could be new projects, new coworkers. So could be new contracts with suppliers if you own a business. And when it comes to your health, this could be new breakthroughs, new medical information. This could be finding the right practitioner. And this is all when you are actively pursuing it. So because if you are in that emperor's has no clothes sort of, then that's the moment when you realize that your job is intolerable, you can't stand your coworkers, that you're not really taking care of yourself, all of those sort of things. That can be the wake-up call for you to make a change. But it's more likely, knowing how assertive and on point you are about taking action, that you know what this is already. Additionally, you've had Saturn and Neptune going in and out of Aries, giving you new insights, really showing you how to make a blueprint of what it is that you want in the future. Now, probably the challenging thing is with Mars at late degrees of Libra in this chart. What we see is that when you are focused on trying to get something done, you are going to have some sort of opposition or pushback. Somebody doesn't want you to change. But this goes, like you expect this. You always know that somebody's going to push back, and you get ready for it. So with this pair of this eclipse at a 29 degree and your planetary ruler at 29 degrees, you are ready for a fight. And that is, you pick out what it is you want, you be willing to fight for it, and you could have something in your life that's really worthwhile. What I also like about this chart is that the eclipse is that point of energy that resonates for 6 months, while you have Pluto on one side giving you accessible energy through the sextile, and Uranus on the other side, again, accessible energy through the sextile. That combination means that you could create some sort of transformation in your life that makes your life unrecognizable in 6 months, that you are doing something entirely different because you are taking and controlling the power, that you are saying, I'm able to manifest what I want and do what I want. And a way that you can uncover more information about this eclipse is through an astrology reading. Astrology readings are very helpful. They give you information about yourself, they can uncover your hidden talents and abilities, and they can also give you a view of what's ahead. So I do readings. There's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, the Sun's making a semi-sextile to Mars. They're both at critical degrees. Mars is in a relationship house. Everything's lined up here for something quite exciting, or so dramatic and intense that it may feel like it's almost too much. So you could meet someone new for a love relationship, but that relationship might be the type of, movies, in the movies where they're both, trapped in the elevator and they're climbing out and battling zombies or something, and then they fall in love because of all that intensity. So that sort of, instant attraction could happen with this Mars and Sun at critical degrees. That said, this could mean also that you come back together with someone because that last degree says that something needs to be completed. And so if you're going to take maybe dating to the next level, or you're going to, take a friendship into the dating world, that could happen with this. Meeting someone during a solar eclipse is always a little bit iffy because of the high drama that is associated with it. So if you want something calm and peaceful, you may want to wait to outside this 2-week period. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Mars is making an out-of-sign sextile with Venus. That sextile is very nice energy. The out-of-sign means that at first you may not be on the same page because your minds are elsewhere, but you can come together pretty quickly. And it does look like one or both of you is very interested in making this work, making it easy or expediting things. So, and it does look like that you can handle the details and get things done pretty quickly, which, Aries likes. So I think this is quite good energy here for your love relationship over the next 2 weeks. Now, when it comes to your money, you pull money from Venus, which is in the sign of Virgo and is really at the very beginning of the sign, and so it is interacting with this eclipse in a semi-sextile. So this is about handling all of the little details, those time-consuming things that seem to just crop up, like tribbles, and there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. And so the energy here is that one little single piece of paper or one email or something like that could open a door for you, but you have to find it. That means sorting through things and looking at the checklist of things that need to be done. That's how you find the money. It's not the big win, it's actually all the little wins that are accumulating. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, Venus is making an inconjunct with Pluto. That is that there is some big opportunity, but it is outside your comfort zone, and it is necessary for you to go find perhaps some expert help or take a class or do some study on the side, do some paper trading. If this is a business venture, then finding someone who's done this before, whether they're online or someone you can speak to in person. But there is some information that could help you, and that could help you gain more money. But most importantly, this is going to be something you haven't done before, something that is probably outside your comfort zone. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be a paycheck, this is some of the strongest energy you've done in a while. Venus is making a square to Uranus, and you've got a very strong house of work. So this does indicate that if you are looking for a raise or an increase, you are likely to get additional projects, more responsibilities, more work in general. But that can lead to more money. If you're looking for another job, you have real opportunities here. You may get more than one offer. So the energy here is very positive for making more money in your career. It is going to require you asking because you're a little bit invisible right now. So it's necessary for you to say, this is what I've accomplished, this is what I've contributed to the bottom line of the company. And then as you push that direction, then you could get some real results. So if you were given the chance to completely change one part of your life, what would it be? Take a moment and think about this, because oftentimes that answer will tell you where the eclipse is falling in your chart. And so when we have an eclipse, especially an eclipse that affects the sun in the chart, what gets affected is how you describe yourself to yourself and to others. Then, just less than a month later, Venus opposes the eclipse degree, and that happens on October 1st. And that's going to be some sort of maybe announcement about commerce, about prices, about goods, because Venus rules the Taurus energy, which is the stuff that we want to have. Now, probably the 410 hit is considered one of the most stressful because it is about home and career. And of course, you can mitigate a lot of this energy by leaning in and making as many changes as you can in those areas.